Damn, Solomon, you be teaching some of those solid and wisdoms to you and Sheba in the other room, I've been seeing. Hey, you've been doing something up there. This chapter, I actually even saw the raw of this chapter. This is how excited I was to see another Magi chapter greatness. I can't wait to see what was happening, and fucking called it. Fucking called it on that page. I'm telling you, like, finally see after 3 months and another, it's like that. So since this chapter starts like 3 months in the past, it's like Solomon and Sheba have been seeing each other now for about the same time, and they've been actually getting along well. And that's the only good bit of news that they've been having there, since there are still wars between the other species and alongside magicians, ordering to do around stuff. And it's like they're using so many excuses just so these other species just can't. Like they're using the isolation barriers as pretty much national borders to them to stay around. They even just stare at each other, looking at. They cause wars. It's like even all this time, like the other magicians are just like trying, and they're like saying, "You used to be our friends. You used to be our comrades." It's like, what is going on? And it's like his people are still asking, even the ones that are still on his side, saying they need a strong leader like Solomon was. And yet still people are treating him as a king and a god. And even when Ugo was talking to him in his room, you could tell that he was still getting down by this. It's like he was even saying, "I'm not a king. Like, I'm not like that. I'm trying to make a world of equals here. So, and yet you guys still bow your heads down to me." Like, it's like Solomon is still struggling, but I think Solomon has to realize as well, regardless of what, there's just kind of impossible. Like, he's starting to realize the true weight of those words that he wanted to say. Like, regardless of what's going to happen and like that, you still hatred is something that I feel is always going to exist. And it's like even Ugo was doubting his questioning. It was like Ugo, like when he was saying, "At least I still got people like you that has faith in me," and it's like, and Ugo then felt like a true scumbag. He's like, yeah, there was even a bit where I wasn't even believing in Solomon's just through a moment there. And it was like, it was nice that they showed just in a little panel, like definitely with the start of this chapter where they showed a little panel between, Yamaram, Asur, and Shark. And I thought that was nice, and I hope they incorporate that into, the Sinbad manga. But also there's one there as well, the one with Ugo and Solomon, how they met, and it was just a young guy. It's like, Solomon, like, when he saw that, he just didn't mind Ugo's room because Ugo was, like, locked up like a Hikikomori. Sort of, like, statue. He was just, like, there with all these notes and everything and just trying to work. And one of the things that's interesting is what Ugo discovered. Ugo discovered Rook. It's like, he's the one that saw it. But one thing that was making me question this is that we saw that, it looks like a black bird. Like, a black Rook. And I was like, what? So wait a minute, did Ugo, like, discover just Rook? But it just seems like it looks like Black Rook in general. I'm pretty sure that's just, like, a shadow figure or something like that. But I would have imagined that he would have noticed the difference between, Black Rook and, like, a White Rook that we've had throughout this series. So it's like, Ugo was the first ever person to share this across with us. Something, they say that Solomon has this great wisdom and all that, but it's like, no, it really was thanks to his people. I imagine that the Solomon's wisdom comes from him absorbing pretty much all of the knowledge from Al-Mataran that, like, thanks to all his friends and everyone gave him. And seeing as well that how they're really going to deal with this, because the reason why the other species are sort of acting this way and the other magicians is because Orthodox is getting weaker and weaker, and it's not a threat anymore. It's pretty much like Solomon is the biggest threat right now, and it's like if they need to change like something, they need to change the fundamentals of this world, and it's like it's getting even more and more complicated with how Solomon's going to do it. And it's just like, it's very interesting because also as well, the final battle is approaching from what we heard. And then those 3 months pass and we find out that Sheba is pregnant. And it's like, she wants to fight with Solomon. And she's like, she's even slowed down the pregnancy on Alajin like that. It's like, they even said it, and it's like, obviously this baby is. That's like, that has to be Aladdin there. Like, she really was he like, maybe that's one of the reasons why Aladdin looks probably so young as well. Like, it's just a theory out there. But what if that slowing down the pregnancy thing actually affected Aladdin's body, and that actually made him, like, a lot more younger than what he was? Maybe it's something like that. We don't know. I mean, we've seen, like, a lot of magicians actually doing that. Maybe, like, Aladdin subconsciously is actually, using that magic to really slow himself down. Because we know it's through, like, out the series, like, throughout the times, and like that. Aladdin, from the start of him being in that dungeon, from pretty much now, which is like, what, the passing of like 2 to 3 years now? Because I think like Aladdin was about 10 when the series started. I think he's now about 13, 12. So maybe that could be one of the reasons. I mean, maybe he's subconsciously unlike like what the other magicians can do, because since they can slow down their aging as well. So I'm very curious about that matter. But I actually thoroughly enjoyed this chapter. I thought there was a lot of good things. Yeah, a lot of pacing. Now there was a lot of progression as well. We are finally moving to the final battle now. Get that confirmation about who Aladdin's mother is. It's Thali Sheba. But the question is like, is Sheba or Ara? Which one's Yoko? We still need to know. Come on, I need to know this soon. Give me some info. Give me some deets on this. I need to know who it is. Solid chapter. I think like with a lot, it was super dialogue heavy. There was a lot of things to look into this chapter as well. With although there was a lot of progression, I'm going to get this one like a 7.5 out of 10. I thought this was a very solid chapter. Really enjoyed it, but yeah, definitely the dialogue heavy is still going on with the other species. Just like kind of got that from last week's chapters. That yeah, we saw a lot of the other species attacking. I don't think we needed to see that again. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But that's all from me. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. As always, remember, I'll see you guys next time, and strike that back.